The year is 1984. You play as Corporal Victor Vance. You get stationed in Vice City's army base, Fort Baxter. Upon arrival, you meet up with your superior officer, Sergeant Jerry Martinez. Sergeant Martinez asks you to go pick up some drugs for him, and Victor agrees because, well, he needs a lot of money to pay for his very sick brother's medication back home. And yada yada yada, Vic's sergeant frames him, and Victor is forced into the streets. Now, this perfectly sets up the story for you to begin your life of crime and payback. This video game happens to be Grand Theft Auto Vice City Stories, published by Rockstar Games and developed by Rockstar Leeds and North. Initially only released for the PlayStation Portable in 2006, and then later ported to the PlayStation 2 in 2007. In 2012, the PS2 version became part of the PlayStation 2 Classics and was playable on the PS3 through the PlayStation Network. However, this version was removed from the PlayStation Network long ago, but luckily I have it and will be comparing it. Sadly, this game was technically only ever released on the PSP and PS2. Even the PS3 version is just a PS2 game. Even on the Android App Store, they have every GTA game on there except this one. But, that doesn't mean you can't play this pretty enjoyable game on your Windows PC. You have three options. You can emulate it with exceptional quality using PCSX2 or PPSSPP. There is also a San Andreas full conversion mod to make it Vice City Stories. It's a pretty decent mod and definitely worth a try. Let's discuss some differences between the PlayStation Portable and PS2 version for a second. The obvious one is the graphics. On the PlayStation 2, Rockstar enhanced the graphics like adding bloom, increasing the resolution, and adding a small amount of anti-aliasing. The PS2 version will also have more vehicles and pedestrians spawning in. There's more stunt jumps, and obviously better controls due to the dual analog sticks. You also get some new vehicles to drive and some new side missions on the PS2 port. Reviews for the game were of course exceptional, that is, the PSP version. The PlayStation 2 port did get criticized for using the same code and not fixing some issues present on the PSP version, but still great scores all around. These high scores and of course the GTA name helped skyrocket Vice City Stories sales through the roof, well over 4.5 million copies sold as of March 2008. Now that is the lowest of all the 3D GTA games, but 4.5 million copies is nothing to cry home about. But I do go crying home when you don't hit that like button, and if you've enjoyed this video thus far, please click it and maybe subscribe, really up to you, but if you don't, you'll live your life in 15 frames per second forever. Now, moving on to frame rate, the PlayStation 2 tries to hit 30, but likes to stick around the low 20s. The PSP version, I couldn't capture the FPS because there's way too much screen tearing. I am pretty sure there isn't any present on the game, but capturing it caused it. The online community says the frame rate is around the 20s. The PlayStation 3 port is the worst one. The emulation is just bad on this. It is 15 frames usually, blurrier graphics, and just good thing it was removed forever. It's just not a good emulation of this game. On PC and the two emulator ports, you can get 60 frames. I do believe my two emulator ports were 30 locked, but after I captured, I read some posts where people were showing you how to set up the emulators to get the 60 frames. Starting this comparison off with PSP versus PS2, you can see the enhancements made to the PlayStation 2. The sky and the palm trees are improved, the overall color palette is just more realistic, although I do like the bright, colorful look on the PSP as well. On PS2, here you can see 4 signs, and only 3 signs on PSP. The 4th sign is there, it's just a draw distance thing. Looking at the military base here, the PS2 offers more detail versus the very simplistic look on the PSP. The PlayStation Portable's Jeep is also very dark, but it's not that dark on the game. The component cables I use to capture increase the contrast or something. When indoors, I actually prefer the PSP. It's brighter and more colorful, more aliasing, but when playing on the PSP small screen, you don't really notice it. The windows on PS2 doesn't show whatever these two brown things are. The cigar on the PSP is lit. You can see it here at the tip. Also, you can't see the chair on the PlayStation 2, but you can see it right here on the PSP. There's more trash and plants on the floor on the PS2. The PSP has this stuff, but it's usually pretty hard to see. Look at the signs, they are way better looking here. Very blurry on this side. Again, more clutter on the ground on the PS2. Let's pop the PS3 into the mix. Just to remind you, the PS3 is the exact same version that is on PlayStation 2, but it's completely emulated, and poorly might I add. The PlayStation 3 version is a tad more blurry overall. You can really see the blurriness on the PS3 here. Also, slightly different color palette. I want to show the San Andreas mod for a bit now. It is so sharp and clean looking, but it's not without its faults. It was never a finished mod, but it's still pretty good fun. Check out this chick's arm, it's pretty jacked up. Looking at the PSP, it's missing this railing that you can see on the PS2. Look at the chain linked fence detail off on the distance, it's so crystal clear. And then look at the lack of palm trees on the PlayStation 2. Something else that I noticed on this mod is that the water bubbles caused from the boat are way down here for some reason. Palm trees on the PS2 look good when close, but when they're further away, they become translucent, and I don't really care for that. I much prefer the solid take on the PSP and mod. I love how the creator of the mod even got all the cutscenes in this game. They look really good. Now back to the PlayStation 2 and PSP. They changed the color of some of the synchronized shooters' shirts for some reason. On this shot, the boat seems to pop in at the same time on both. It's a little bit lighter on the PS2, but they do pop in at the same time. Now I want to remove all the ugly graphics and focus on pure glory. That is, the PSP and PS2 running on max settings off emulation, PCSX2 and PPSSPP. The PS2 shows more of a depth of field versus the PSP where everything is just so solid, but it appears the PS2 version replaced some textures with some stretched out ones. I don't know what's up with that. And then the pop in here is really uncalled for. I think it would be perfectly fine playing either version off emulator, both look good, but the PSP may win by a small margin. By that I mean PPSSPP. When I sped up the game clock and matched them up, the PS2 and PS3 were pretty close to being the same, but the PSP really looked different. Maybe it's just a dynamic weather thing these games offer. I brightened this shot up so we can see it better, taken at the exact same time of night. Take it as you will. Putting all of them on one screen now, you can really see they're all playable and pretty great. I love the PSP's overall bright cartoony look, while I also enjoy the PS2 and PS3's more realistic approach. The San Andreas mod is just nice because it's just so crisp. PPSSPP I think is my favorite looking version, and also as long as you remap the controls to be able to use R2 and L2, it's the best one. However, the PCSX2 is great looking too, and you get a bit of extra content with it, which is always a nice addition. Comparing this game actually was really hard, and there really isn't anything changed except some graphics. When I did GTA 3, they replaced a lot of textures and changed a lot of stuff. Not much here though. I actually played about 1 hour of gameplay on each version, but everything is just the same, that I didn't even compare past the first mission. It would have just been a long video of me saying the color palettes are different here. Look at the aliasing differences here. Look at those palm trees. More palm trees that look different. So yeah, that's why I did it this way. For me, it's PPSSPP, but I'd definitely be fine playing any of them. Maybe not PS3, it runs pretty slow, but playable. What do you prefer? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, maybe help me pick out the next side-by-side. Let's hear your suggestions. Please leave a like, and don't forget to hit the bell and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and have a great day, or night, or whatever time of day it is for you. Just make it great.